Hello everyone. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to add an Ethernet IP device to your Codesys project. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that Weintek now recommends Codesys IDE version 3.5.15.50. And, in addition to this installation, you may need to update your HMI's firmware and install the latest Codesys package. All of these items and more can be acquired on our forum, forum.weintechusa.com. And if you're just starting out with Codesys, be sure to check out the New to Codesys topic within the Codesys category. With that said, during this demonstration, I'm going to follow the instructions within the post titled, How to Use Ethernet IP within Codesys. If you check the description below, you'll find a link that will take you to this post as well. To begin, you'll need to create an account on our forum, so that you can download the latest Codesys package and the recommended instance of Codesys. If you already have another installation of Codesys on your PC, I highly recommend that you install 3.5.15.50 as well. This version was validated by our QA team as compatible with our runtime. And there is a chance, as mentioned within this warning, that using a different version may yield compilation errors that can be difficult to resolve. So, for ease of development, I'll click the Codesys IDE hyperlink and download and install the recommended instance of Codesys from this post. Now that I have Weintek's recommended instance of Codesys, I'll download and install the latest Codesys package as well. If you haven't activated Codesys on your HMI, please review the New to Codesys post for instructions related to device activation. If you've activated Codesys on an HMI that was not purchased this year or one that was purchased in the beginning of 2023, we should check that the latest Codesys firmware is installed. To do this, open the Settings menu on your CMT HMI by selecting the orange disk in the top left corner. Then, click on the Codesys tab and the firmware will be listed at the bottom of this menu. On a screenless HMI like a CMT SVRX 820, the firmware can be found by selecting Codesys within the Features tab of the web server. To access the web server, connect your PC to the HMI's LAN 2 port and enter the IP address into your browser. The default IP address of our CMT SVRX 820's LAN 2 port is 192.168.100.1. Please make sure your PC is on the same IP subnet as the HMI or the connection will be unsuccessful. To find the default IP address of your HMI, please download the corresponding product manual from our forum. You may receive a message produced by your browser that the connection is unsecure. Please select the option that will allow you to proceed to this domain. Once connected, enter the HMI's system password to log into the web server. The default password is 111111. And once logged in, select Codesys within the Features tab to view the firmware version. If the device firmware is prior to 2023-0204, such that it begins with the prefix 2022 or 2021, we'll need to update the firmware as described within this post. To do this, download the Codesys firmware by clicking the Codesys firmware hyperlink. Then open the Utility Manager. This is an application installed with EasyBuilder Pro. And I should mention that a download for EasyBuilder Pro is available on our forum within the download section as well. Once open, click on the Select Model tab. Now, if you're using a CMT 2000X series HMI like a CMT 2078X or a CMT 3161X, select CMTX series standard. If you're using a CMT 3000X series that ends with a 2 or 8, like a CMT 3072X or a CMT 3108XP, or if you're using a CMT FHDX or a CMT SVRX, select CMTX Series Advanced. Click on the Maintenance tab, and near the bottom, select Codesys Firmware Upgrade. Within the following menu, click Search All within the HMI Name tab and select the HMI that you'd like to upgrade. If the HMI is selected, it will be highlighted blue as shown. Or enter the HMI's IP address within the entry box located in the IP tab. Click on the folder to select the bin file that we've acquired, and then click Update to update the Codesys firmware. The dialog below will indicate when the update is finished. Now we're ready to use EtherNet IP. While we have our web server or the HMI settings menu open, let's enable Codesys Login. This feature will allow us to download to both Codesys and the HMI while connected to LAN 2 of the HMI. By default, once Codesys is activated, it has complete control over LAN 1. This means that we can't access the HMI's web server using LAN 1. We can't download an HMI project using LAN 1. And the drivers available within EasyBuilder Pro, like those developed for the compact logics, cannot communicate with the device connected to LAN 1. But everything that I just mentioned will work using LAN 2, because that is the LAN port assigned to the HMI once Codesys is activated. Although Codesys and the HMI share the same hardware, so to speak, certain internal components are separate. Codesys can utilize the CAN bus port if available, and it is given its own CPU core as well as LAN 1. The HMI retains control over all other CPU cores, the RS-232 and RS-485 serial ports, and LAN 2. To enable Codesys Login, let's log into our settings menu by clicking the lock icon, and we'll enter the HMI's system password. By default, this password is 111111. The Codesys Login feature may be found by clicking EtherNet within the Network tab, or, depending on the HMI model, it may be found within the Network settings of the Codesys tab. And I should note that you may have to scroll down within the Codesys tab to view these settings. In much the same way, the Codesys Login feature may be found within the Network settings of the web server or the Codesys tab within the web server. Once found, enable this feature. Now, I'll open the Codesys IDE and we'll begin a new project. Within the IDE, select New Project, and within the following menu, ensure that Standard Project is selected. Name your project, and click OK when finished. While the application loads, a pop-up will display and prompt you to select the device type and the preferred POU language. Within the device type drop-down list, ensure that Weintek built-in Codesys is selected, and choose your preferred POU language. And note that you can create other POUs using any other language at any time. This just affects the first POU. When the application loads, double-click on Device within the project tree on the left side. This will open the Device tab. You'll need to configure the HMI as the target device. To do this, select the gateway, and click on the Add Device button on the right side. Enter the IP address of LAN 2 and click OK. Once found, select the HMI and click Set Active Path. If the application did not find the HMI, please ensure that your PC is on the same IP subnet as LAN 2 of the HMI and reattempt connection. Now let's add our EtherNet IP scanner. To do this, right-click on Device and select Add Device. In the following pop-up, expand Field Buses and EtherNet Adapter. To ensure compatibility, please use version 3.5.15.0 of the EtherNet adapter. You may need to select Display All Versions for experts only to view this version. Once found, click Add Device. Next, click on the Ethernet device within the project tree and expand Field Buses, Ethernet IP, and Ethernet IP Scanner. Select version 3.5.15.50 of the Ethernet IP Scanner and click Add Device. Again, you may need to ensure that Display All Versions for experts only is enabled to view this option. After the device loads, the message dialog may display a few errors, perhaps many more than you see within my project. But we'll take care of those errors in a minute. For now, click Close, and let's import the EDS file of the Ethernet IP device that we're going to connect with. If you do not have an EDS file for your device, you may be able to use the generic Ethernet IP device driver. But we will not be using this driver within this tutorial. An EDS file is a description file that contains the link paths to CIP objects like I/O points and parameters. If you don't have an EDS file for the device that you are attempting to connect with, contact the device vendor and request this file. Within this demonstration, I'm going to connect with Weintek's IR-ETN I/O coupler, and I've generated an EDS file for this device. If you are also using an IR-ETN, I've placed a link to a post within the description that explains how to export an EDS file. To import an EDS file, select the Tool tab and click Device Repository. Within the following menu, click Install, locate the EDS file, and click Open. The device can now be appended to the Ethernet IP scanner. To do this, right-click on the Ethernet IP scanner, select Add Device, locate the device that you've installed, and click Add Device. Now, we'll need to configure these drivers. Double-click on Ethernet, and click on the ellipses next to Interface. Within the pop-up menu, select ETH0. This is the interface associated with LAN 1, and that is the current IP address configured for Codesys. You can modify this IP address within the Codesys tab of the Settings menu of the HMI. But if you do, please repeat this process to ensure that the network settings within the project match what is configured on your device. It is recommended that you double-click on the Ethernet IP scanner and ensure that Auto Reestablish Connections is enabled. This is actually required if you are using an IR-ETN I/O coupler. Then, double-click on the Ethernet IP device and ensure that the IP address defined within the General tab is correct. Now, let's open our POU and define a simple procedure. During this example, I'm going to create a single contact within the POU. I'll give our contact a name, and follow the prompts within the Auto Declare menu to declare this name as a variable. To map this variable to an I/O point, double-click on the Ethernet IP device and select the Ethernet IP Slave I/O Mapping tab. Expand the Exclusive Owner section and locate the I/O point that you want to use. Double-click within the Variable column and select the ellipses to assign a variable to this I/O point. This will open the Input Assistant, which you can use to select a variable from a POU or GVL. Now that we're finished, let's take care of any errors within our project and generate a tag file that we can import within EasyBuilder Pro. Within the project tree, any object associated with an error or warning will have either a red or blue underline depending on severity. After adding an Ethernet IP scanner, the ENIP scanner service task may be underlined in red. If it is, the priority may be out of range. The priority of any task defines how the task manager, and therefore the CPU, will execute the given calls. A lower value indicates a higher priority. I'll configure the priority to 2 within this demonstration. Within the Messages window, you'll notice that we have a few additional errors within our project. When using the recommended Ethernet IP scanner for the first time, you may need to install certain libraries to resolve these errors. To do this, double-click on the Library Manager and select the Download Missing Libraries button. When prompted, click Download to install these libraries. Once all required libraries have been installed, select the Build button once more to ensure that the project is error-free. If you've installed a later version of Codesys in addition to 3.5.15.50, you may receive several errors during the build sequence. These errors are caused by a version of the Common Packet Format Interfaces library that is incompatible with Codesys version 3.5.15.50. To diagnose and resolve this issue, open the Library Repository within the Tool tab. Within the following pop-up, click Find and search for Common Packet Format Interfaces. Once found, select this library and click Open. If available, uninstall version 4.2.0.0. Then, click the Build button to verify the application is error-free. Now, if you did not use the Codesys IDE validated by Weintek, the compiler may flag certain libraries attributed to visualization. These errors, although concerning, can be ignored since Weintek does not support Codesys visualization. This is another reason why I would recommend installing version 3.5.15.50 if possible. Since the HMI and Codesys are programmed using separate IDEs, you'll need to generate and import a tag file in order to access Codesys variables within EasyBuilder Pro. To generate a tag file, right-click on Application, select Add Object, and click on Symbol Configuration. Within the following pop-up, click Add, and when prompted, select Build to verify that the application is error-free. Select each symbol you would like to export within the Symbol Configuration tab, and when finished, click on Generate Code within the Build menu of the IDE. This will generate an XML file in the same location where your Codesys project is saved. Before we import this file, select the Login button to download this project to the controller. If prompted, to proceed with download, click Yes. If you already have an application in run mode on the controller, you may receive a message stating that the application is changed. Within the dialog, please ensure that Login with Download and Update Boot Project are selected. Once the download is complete, click on the Start button to place the PLC in run mode. To import this tag file, open an instance of EasyBuilder Pro. Within this application, I'm using a CMT 2070AX, but be sure to select the HMI model that you have in your possession. When the application loads, select the New Device/Server button within the System Parameters. If you are working within an existing project, the System Parameters can be accessed via the Home tab. Within the following menu, ensure that Weintek built-in Codesys is selected within the Device Type drop-down list. If not, click on the center of this drop-down menu to search for this driver. Once found, click OK. While this driver is selected, click on the Import Tags button. The following menu may display, prompting you to select a preference as to how string data is mapped to variables within your application. Variables with type WString map each character to a word, whereas type string requires 1 byte per character. If you have not defined any string variables within your application, you may select any option to continue. Within the file browser, locate the XML file generated by Codesys. This file will be named after your project, but it will include the string .device.application. Once found, click Open, and you should receive a message stating that the tag import was successful, albeit in different words. If you add additional tags within your application at a later point, Or if you change a tag name, please rebuild your project. Ensure that those tags are selected within the symbol configuration object, and then click Generate Code within the Build menu to export these tags. Download this project to the controller and set the application in run mode. Import this tag file using the Import Tags option within the system parameters of EasyBuilder Pro, and you can then assign these tags to an object such as a numeric display or bit lamp. With our tags imported, click OK to close the system parameters. Select the Object tab of EasyBuilder Pro and create an object that corresponds with the data type of the tag that you would like to reference. Since I'm going to toggle our contact, I'll create a toggle switch. But if I wanted to read or update an analog value, I could use a numeric object as well. To assign this object to a tag within our controller, ensure that the selected device is Weintek built-in Codesys. Expand the tag drop-down list and select the tag that you would like to use. When finished, configure any attributes of this object to your preference and click OK to place this object on your work area. To download this application to your HMI, select the Project tab and click the Download button. Within the following menu, click on the Search All button to locate your device. Select it, and then click the Download button in the bottom left corner. If you don't see your HMI within the dialog box after clicking Search All, please ensure that you've selected the correct HMI model, as the application will not permit project download to an HMI from a different series. Now that the download is finished, we can monitor the current value of each tag within Codesys while logged in. We can toggle this bit on our HMI, or we can force this variable to a different state using options within the Debug menu in the Codesys IDE. Thank you for watching this in-depth tutorial in which we've configured a Codesys application within a CMTX series HMI to function as an Ethernet IP client. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, head on over to our channel to check out the latest technical tutorials. Feel free to check out our forum as well for free demo projects, user manuals, and more. Thank you for watching.